Meek Mill is back in the spotlight after a leaked audio clip sparked speculation about his possible connection to music mogul Diddy. The internet is buzzing. Was Meek really at one of Diddy's exclusive gatherings? Or is this just another wave of industry gossip catching fire online?
What's up, y'all already know how we playing out this motherfucker. This real life.
Real life shit,
nigga, no Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect. I'm trying to build this life.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy.
Yes, I am.
You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia rapper is drawing renewed attention after being indirectly mentioned in a lawsuit filed by producer Lil Rod. The legal documents reference a well-known Philly artist with links to Nicki Minaj, a Super Bowl appearance, and a Las Vegas residency, clues that fans quickly tied to Meek. Though he hasn't responded directly to the claims, his vague social media posts have only intensified the speculation.
He did not. It did not say Meek Mill name. Wait. Oh, hold up. Never mind. Wait, what the fuck? I forgot. Look, Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in sexual intercourse with rapper 5. That's redacted. Look, 5. He's a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Yo, Meek. We were playing around with that Michael Rubin shit, but if you don't, you've been tweeting about you've been tweeting about everything on planet Earth. If you don't get a Twitter rant saying you about to get Lil Rod killed, you about to shoot up his block, blow his mama's house up, this nigga is saying that you and Diddy were fornicating. What the fuck? Meek!
I just want to be clear about that. But going back to the lawsuits, one of those plaintiffs that has sued Combs was Rodney Little Rod Jones, a music producer who apparently worked with Combs on his latest album called Love. Jones says he lived with Combs for a year and witnessed what he claimed was not only debauchery, but also illegal activity. In his lawsuit, Jones named some very well-known celebrities like Cuba Gooding Jr., who he claims sexually assaulted him on a yacht that Combs had rented for a holiday cruise in 2022. Other celebrities' names are redacted from the suit. For example, the lawsuit reads, quote, rapper redacted on Mr. Combs' yacht consorting with underage girls, sex workers. Then in a footnote, it says he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. Now, based on that, online sleuths quickly deduced that suit was likely talking about Meek Mill. He dated Nicki Minaj for a couple of years between 2015 and 2017, and he was her opening act on her world tour. Once people decided that the lawsuit was referring to Meek Mill, these rumors started to circulate about his possible involvement or participation in Combs' activity.
Adding to the chatter, old photos of Meek and Diddy looking unusually close at past events have resurfaced. While images alone don't prove anything, they've fueled debate, especially given Meek's gritty, streetwise persona. Now, some are questioning how that image aligns with these recently recirculated snapshots.
Close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop.
Shit.
This is really happening. I'm just saying to you. Stop it, man. You set that up. Look, you set that up. This dude, he's in the same shirt.
What do you mean he's in the same shirt?
Obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. This is what I'm saying, bro. Like you go, I'm like, nah, it was odd. Like, this is some of the things that people say, like, girls, guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
Back in November, Meek posted a video saying firmly, "No Diddy Gang," aiming to shut down the rumors. But instead of putting the chatter to rest, the comment sparked even more curiosity. Since then, Meek has taken to social media often, far more than most celebrities in similar situations, leaving fans to wonder, is he protecting his image or is there something deeper going on?
Meek Mill himself has been vocal about his name being brought up alongside allegations of abuse, drug use, sex with underage girls. He has claimed online that his success in the industry, as well as his work to reform the criminal justice system, has made him a target. And Meek Mill is very active on X, formerly Twitter. He has voiced his thoughts about the lawsuit as well as the rumors. In September, he tweeted, quote, "From the streets of Philly to becoming a millionaire, to helping reform the system, to bridging a gap of billionaires, to interacting with the rap culture that results in success. It's a lot of people hating on me on the low. They don't play with guns, they do campaigns." And he also tweeted several times about the rumors surrounding his sexuality. For example, one tweet reads, "I have the right to say I ain't gay, and I'll trash anybody that play with my manhood, LOL." Then earlier this week, he put an offer on the table, a $100,000 reward for anyone who can figure out how he got named in Rodney Jones' lawsuit in the first place. He tweeted, "I want to hire an investigative team $100K cash to find out every specific detail involving Meek Mill name to Diddy case. I also want them to look at who is powering the media involving Meek, anything to do with Buddy." And then in quotes, "something not right." And then he followed that up minutes later with, "The streets know what's up with me. That's not the case. We talking about business side. Somebody powering these bad campaigns with Meek Mill. Again, I got $100K for a thorough investigation of what's powering and how exactly my name connect to this."
Meek insists he's the target of a smear campaign designed to tear down successful black artists. To back up his claims, he's even offered $100,000 to fund an independent investigation into the media narratives and swirling rumors. "Something's not right," he stated. While some fans remain skeptical, others, like Kanye West, have echoed similar concerns, hinting at a darker agenda in the music industry.
So let me explain to you why I stand by Puff. When I went against Adidas got my bank to freeze my accounts right before tax time. From the way I understand that, you evade taxes, you can go to prison. So I believe Adidas tried to put me in prison for not abiding by their contract. So watch this. Puff sues Diageo. A hotel video from 10 years earlier is put out. Now people don't like Puff. And then Diageo, they go in with the most insane media takedown I've ever seen, all the way to not just the media, but not allowing a person to get bond for $50 million. There's people with actual murders that are at home on bond and not a $50 million bond.
But not everyone's buying Meek's side of the story. Some industry insiders are questioning his sudden effort to distance himself from Diddy, especially after years of public camaraderie. Meek now says they were never close, a claim that's only added to the confusion. It's a vivid reminder of how quickly alliances can shift when fame, reputation, and legal scrutiny are involved.
Well, Meek Mill had a video recently. He was walking around someplace, and he said, "No Diddy."
Yeah, nigga. No Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me. You heard
that shit, Meek. Yeah, Meek.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you saw that?
No, I seen it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't really know Diddy your way out of that photo. You got the matching outfit with Puffy. You can't know Diddy your way out of that. But I guess it's a little disappointing is that it seemed like Meek Mill was an actual friend.
There's no friends in the industry, Vlad.
But it seemed like they were actually had a relationship.
It's no friends in the industry, Vlad. There ain't no friends in the industry. I think a lot of people, you see all the silence we hearing now? I think Ray J kind of said, even though Ray J's kind of going a little cuckoo recently. Love him. But there's a lot of people silent. And there's three reasons. One, they got some skeleton in their closet. They're like, let me not jump in because I don't want them to look at me. Two, some of them was at these parties and they may have freaked off a couple girls with Diddy.
Yeah.
And
or guys.
Yeah, or guys, right? And the third version is literally them trying to figure out, like, I don't want to be against this guy if he beats it. So everybody's been watching it. So they're watching it and they'll be like, shit.
A friendship, a real relationship.
Yeah.
But just recently, you see Meek Mill in Philly and he's like, no Diddy gang. Does that surprise you?
It's the industry. Nobody's really friends. You know, when I came in this game, I thought everybody was my friend. And I realized that, you know, everybody's trying to figure out a way to, you know, take advantage. I wouldn't say take advantage. Yeah, fuck it. Take advantage of you. So it's like when you learn things later on in the game, you'd be like, all right, cool. Fuck it. Damn, this nigga took advantage, or I did this, or this nigga swayed me to the wrong deal, or this person did this person. You can't blame anybody, but none of these people are your friends. You know what I'm saying? Management, lawyers, niggas in the entourage, None of these people are your friends. Once you keep that mentality, nothing will bother you. So when a motherfucker do some stupid shit or sucker shit or say some shit or try to assassinate your character in any way, you don't take it personal because they never was your friend. It's just all business.
Yeah, I just feel like...
So nothing surprises me in the music business, the industry.
Interestingly, Meek hasn't outright denied any specific allegations. Instead, he's focused on a broader narrative, that artists are being targeted and set up. Sources like Big Homie CC suggest Meek may be withholding details out of fear, worried that speaking out too much could backfire if federal investigators get involved. Meanwhile, cryptic posts from Meek have hinted at suspicious online activity tied to his name, further fueling the mystery.
And it was a Diddy party, giving in Meek Mill's honor for his birthday. I was like, yo, wow. They said it was disgusting the way that they left the place. So I know they got hit with another bill on top of that $25,000 and the different deposits they had to put down for cleanup and all this other stuff. It was crazy. It was one of the property managers, they had rented out a mansion. I heard about that whole story.
This kind of surprised me because Meek Mill, who seemed like he had an actual...
He's on the no Diddy move.
Well, yeah, Meek Mill, who seemed like he was actually friends with Diddy, down to the matching outfits.
Rush him too?
He said no Diddy.
Yeah,
he said no Diddy gang.
No Diddy gang. You know, I guess you got to say something because they throwing him in there. You know, the bloody sheet thing came out. You got the other dude. You got the other dude saying he recorded whatever he heard in the room, and you got the video of him in the pool, and dude, you know, Diddy talking to him the way he talking to him. So
had his Amazon account connected to his Twitter. The man on there buying dildos. And it's getting posted to his Twitter account. I just purchased this 10-inch dildo. So, like, I really don't want to talk about Meek Mill. You feel me? I just don't think Meek Mill is a bright guy, period. Like, I just feel like Meek Mill is the dude who will end up someplace trying to be with the who's who. And be like, wait a second. I don't know what's going on.
So then, you know, you go on his Twitter page, you click on his likes, bro. You see things that he's liking. That's questionable. Would you come up in here with a matching shirt with me?
Hell no.
Hell no. Ace, would you pop out with a matching shirt with me, bro? Styles, put that on something. You gonna pop out with? No, boy, it's not going like that, bro. Would you let me call you daddy?
Hell no.
No, bro. I've been saying this for years. I say, man, these boys strange, bro. The things they into is strange. I've seen so much. I've seen a lot, bro. So like with him, look how he responded to the situation. Not one time did he come out and say these things are a lie. Did you see that?
Yep.
He didn't say that.
He didn't deny it.
No, he didn't deny nothing. Because if he deny it, what's finna come out? Footage.
You think Diddy has footage on Meek?
For sure. He got cameras through his whole crib.
Legal experts believe federal recordings could be a pivotal piece in the unfolding case against Diddy. Analysts suggest many celebrities are keeping silent to avoid making statements that could later be used in court. At the same time, Diddy's legal team is reportedly fighting to have those recordings blocked from being admitted as evidence.
Looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial, senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael, you'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called freak-offs, not coerced, as prosecutors allege.
Will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during the
100% in court in front of a room of people. And so that's the other thing that's awful. They are going to be watching basically porn for hours on end in front of people. So in front of victim one, whoever it may be, there's going to be porno played in the federal courtroom.
And victim one would have been made aware of this.
Oh, 100%. She's probably being told right now, like, this is going to be played in open court. Your sex history, your sex life is going to be talked about in open court. All of this.
And presumably then she knows that and she's pushing forward because she hasn't withdrawn.
But don't forget this. It doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. This isn't a civil case. This is the criminal case. So she could flat out tell the federal government, I don't want to participate. And they can say, we don't care. This is a crime. Crimes are against the United States, not against them. Keep calling her victim one, but don't forget, she's a witness to a crime. So it doesn't matter if she went to them in today and said, I'm not participating. Their response, we don't care.
Comedians Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz recently took a jab at Meek Mill during a live show. Schultz remarked that Meek's relentless tweeting might be keeping the drama alive instead of letting it fade. Meek quickly fired back online, posting, I laughed at the jokes, but don't test me, I might surprise you.
Guys, here we go. Right. So, you know how, like, well,
you know, we all occurred about this yesterday. He came in and he goes, P. Diddy definitely everybody and did this and raped everyone. And then we're like, well, how do you know? He's like, I read. Not really. It doesn't really mean anything. You're always reading somebody else's numbers.
But that's what you can do in comedy. That is enough to checkmate most comedians.
Yeah,
I read, and he does
wrong.
read. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's just a funny thing to say because you could also be like admitting the ridiculously of it yourself while saying I read, because it's kind of an admission. Like, I'm not there. I didn't go to the freak off.
Yeah, I want to hear somebody goes, I was one of these parties, and man, P. Diddy was like, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go fuck Meek Mill in the butt. But like, that's never going to happen. No one comes out and says
so.
That.
If you're looking at that, what makes you conclude that he definitely was doing that?
Because he basically, the first time they ever met.
Why you be going at Meek Mill on social media then?
I love Meek.
No, you don't. You always talk about you love somebody.
I love Meek.
And be butchered them on.
When did I butcher him?
Man,
I love Meek. Meek, I love you. I'm the only one on social media saying he's not gay.
But you did say you have a hard time proving that you straight though.
I said he did a bad job of
yes.
it, which he laughed at. He laughed at the joke. He's like, this is the first time I laughed at somebody saying I'm funny.
You just like, so not as long as it's a name, you gonna go back and forth with him, huh?
Yeah, if it's somebody if somebody's using me for my name, I'm not gonna go back and forth.
Right.
But if it's big enough that sure, I'll do it.
Right.
Also, if there's but Meek did nothing to me, by the way. Like, honestly, he's really innocent in all this. And I do support him. I do think that he gets an unfair shake. I think he gets trolled a lot. And I think he's probably like a good guy.
Right.
So I always say, leave Meek alone.
Right.
It's also possible that Meek might actually be called to testify against Diddy in the upcoming trial. We already know that the feds are looking into issuing a subpoena for Ashton Kutcher. Dozens of other witnesses that were close to Diddy could be called, and Meek is one of them.
Ashton and Puffy, or Diddy, have been friends for decades. And they've done movies together, they've hung out together, and he can't say anything because he's one of those guys. Remember I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening. A lot of them don't want people looking into their closet, but Ashton doesn't want the blowback that he got with Danny Masterson.
Right, so pretty tepid in how they reply. Meantime, we're hearing Diddy's ex, Cassie, is cooperating with the feds during this investigation.
100%.
What more is she saying, Paula?
She's not saying anything. So here's the deal. She had sued him for sex trafficking, a bunch of horrible laundry list of stuff. And he settled. It's the one case he settled. It was the first case he settled it. I'm hearing for around $30 million. However, just because you settle a case, you may have an NDA, but if the feds come a knocking, you better answer.
Now, new reports suggest Meek Mill may be called to testify in Diddy's upcoming trial. Federal investigators are reportedly compiling a list of public figures for questioning, among them Ashton Kutcher and notably Meek Mill. If confirmed, this could thrust him back into the spotlight in a far more serious way.
Well, he said a Philly rapper. You understand? And it was redacted in the paperwork to that because, first of all, it had Meek Mills, it had Stevie J, they had redacted their names, and they had Usher, and they redacted their names and just said a performer of the Super Bowl and a Philly rapper. Everybody kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood whereas that he's dressing like he dressing the same he dressing like Diddy, hugged up with Diddy. I think that Lil Rod know a lot of but I know this. Two men dress alike, it's just like two men laying down.
There was a video of Meek Mill, and he said no Diddy. His own man, who Diddy probably took him shopping for that outfit and everything else like that, who they had parties with, and he probably looked up to him like a big homie.
Yeah.
Is now saying no Diddy.
No Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me. You heard
that shit, Meek? Yeah, Meek.
Not surprise you?
I feel like Meek shouldn't have said that if he fuck with Diddy.
I agree.
Out of respect for, you trouble or not, you don't go there, You ain't gonna hear me saying no Diddy,
Well, but you don't really know Diddy like that.
I know, but I done met Diddy, I done, met him a couple of times, had conversations with him, so
Just
he's somebody I look up to, so I ain't.
Right, just left New York City, hooked up with P. Diddy.
Yeah.
That's a real line.
Adding to the controversy, John Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, has come forward, claiming to have witnessed questionable interactions between Diddy and Meek Mill. Philadelphia insiders are fanning the flames further, tracing Meek and Diddy's relationship back to the early 2000s, beginning with a much-talked-about shopping trip said to have sparked their bond. At the moment, Kanye West appears to be Diddy's only high-profile supporter still publicly standing by him. But given Kanye's own series of controversies, his support has done little to sway public opinion. In a leaked phone call, Diddy reportedly expressed feeling abandoned as many of his longtime allies remain noticeably silent.